Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Saurabh Tripathi. I have done my BCIT from Mumbai University, and I am a Microsoft Certified Technology Specialist. And right now, I am pursuing this PRISM course from MIL E Academy. You are welcome to the seminar today in the MIL E Academy. And today, I will be talking on the security issues related to Android devices. So we can see here that humans are evolving, and this picture clearly depicts that humans have evolved to a mobile age. So, and in mobile, we have evolved to the Android age. That is, all the mobiles today are having Android operating system. So, let's talk on the Android operating system security issues. The outline for today's topic would be first we will see what is Android, what are Android applications, the security issues related to Android, the security features that Android provides, the security applications that are the third-party applications you can download to secure your devices, and the best practices to be followed to stay secure. So the first question arises, what is Android? So talking about Android, Android is an open source operating system which is for mobile devices, that is tablets, tablet computers and other mobile devices. Android was developed by Open Handset Alliance and Google brought it in 2005 and officially released it by its name. So now it is known as Google Android. Technically speaking, Android is a software stack for mobile devices that includes a middleware, an operating system, and many system applications. It provides the base operating system, the Java software development kit, and a collection of system applications that run on Android devices. So talking about the history of Android, Android was popularly known by its code names. So starting with Android 1.5, it was known as Cupcake, 1.6 was known as Donut, 2.1 Eclair, 2.2 Froyo, 2.3 and further versions Gingerbread. Version 3 was known as Honeycomb, and the latest is version 4, which is Ice Cream Sandwich, and the most recent is 4.2. Talking about the features of Android, Android provides an application framework which helps the application to run on Android devices. It has a Dalvik virtual machine, that is, the Android applications are written in C++, compiled in Java, but to run it on Android devices, they require a Dalvik virtual machine. It has an integrated browser which uses the patented WebKit technology. WebKit is an open source technology, and WebKit can be said to be a good technology because it has scored 100 out of 100 points in ACID 3 tests, which are conducted to test the browser's performance. Android is optimized for graphics. That is, it supports both VGA, 2D and 3D graphics depending on the hardware. For 3D graphics, it supports OpenGL license, and it depends on the hardware. Like we have many processors like NVIDIA Tegra or Scorpion processors. Those can render 3D graphics. It has SQLite, which helps to work with relational databases. As an operating system, it requires databases, so it requires SQLite. It has a lot of media support like MPEG-4, JPEG, and other formats. It supports almost all video, audio and picture formats. It supports GSM telephony, which depends on the hardware. In telephony, it supports 3G, Edge, 4G, UMTS, HSDPA, all telephony technologies. And apart from that, it has all the other features like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, camera, GPS, compass and accelerometer. Latest Android devices also come with a gyrometer. Gyrometers are the one which help the compass to show right directions. Now about Android, in 2010 Gartner had predicted that Android will grow from about 5th to nearly half the market by the next year, that is in 2011. So now as we are in 2011, the Gartner statement was proved true. Here we can see that it has almost crossed 50%, it is now around 52%. To give a better picture of this, we can see this graph, where here clearly we can see Android market share is 52.2%, followed by Symbian, which is 16.9%, followed by iOS, which is used by Apple's, which is 15%, RIM used by BlackBerry is 11%, Vara used by Samsung is 2.2%, and the Microsoft Windows, which is a new player, it has 1.5% of the market share. Now iOS and Windows are said to be the toughest competitors of Google Android, because they are litigating Android on patent issues that Android has copied technology from iPhone and Microsoft OS. So in answer to this, Google acquired Motorola Mobility, which has the highest number of patents, that is 17,000 patents, so that they can back answer Microsoft and Apple regarding the patents litigation. Now the main thing that makes Android this famous and growing by leaps and bounds are the Android applications. Android allows free development of applications, which is supported by Java development kit. You can download almost any applications available on the Android market. Applications are like games, browsers, or system tools, and very advanced applications. Now, to give a brief about the Android market is a software market developed by Google, and it was developed so that Google can stop third-party applications from being downloaded maliciously. So, the Android market has all the applications which are first monitored by Google, and then they are downloaded to the device automatically. And you require a valid username and password, a Gmail valid username and password to download all the applications. However, you can download third-party applications to a rooted device. We'll be talking further on what is rooting. Now we will see how Android applications basically work. They work on 4 principles, which are activity, services, broadcast, and content providers. Activity is the screen that the user interacts with, like we have the normal touch screen which you touch, or keypad in case you have a QWERTY keypad typing phone. Services are long running background processes that support applications. Like suppose you are playing music player or using a web browser, there are many services running behind the application which use the right amount of OS resources required for your application. Broadcast receivers are the technique that applications and system components communicate securely and efficiently. That is, broadcast receivers are responsible for the actual security of the applications. Though Android does not have many security features, but it is also not the case that it doesn't have any security features. The security features are supported by broadcast. And content providers is a mechanism to allow apps to share raw data. Now we will see how Android security issues arise. In January 2010, we had the first bank phishing app developed. In March 2010, the first Android botnet was developed. In July 2010, a TabSnake game came with GPS monitoring embedded into it, which was capable of telling your location to the intended party. In August 2010, the first Android Trojan was discovered by Kaspersky Labs. In November 2010, Angry Birds proof of concept malware was developed. Now, what is proof of concept malware? When the Angry Birds game was launched, so the developers had to see that it works properly or not. So they had built a test version, but these hackers developed the malware of this test version only, and it was downloaded to almost 50,000 phones, which then Google had to remove remotely from the Android phones to ensure security. And in December 2010, we had the first pirated Android app, which was called Gemini. And talking about the latest issues of security, in January 2010, there were ADRD and PGA apps developed in China. In March 2010, Droid Dream was the first Android malware. It was also developed in China. In April 2011, we had Walk and Text pirate attack, which was a SMS Trojan. In April 2010, now to stop these things, Android market had developed a tool that could identify malicious applications, but this tool only was replicated as a pirated tool and was launched in the Android market. And the latest issue is November 2000, when Android 4, that is Ice Cream Sandwich, was launched. The developers didn't know that it had a great security flaw, that it had a facial recognition feature, but the flaw was that if you even hold a photo in front of that camera, it was able to recognize that person. So you didn't need actually the person to be physically present to log into the device. And now on 2nd December, they launched HTC Evo Android device, in which they discovered capability leaks. Now capability leaks are like you have one application, but you deny permission to that application, but that application uses the rights of other application to do its malicious intent. Now the other security issues in Android are which we normally use the devices. Those have all the security issues. The applications can have full access to personal information like contacts and messages. For instance, you download Facebook mobile from the Facebook website. You even might don't know that it gets synchronized with your friend list. Like if the friends have published their numbers on Facebook, it will detect those numbers from your device. And those numbers can be accessed by anyone who gets entry to your device. Now the Bluetooth sharing without encryption is on by default, so you need to disable it when you take an Android device. That is, when you share Bluetooth files, they are not encrypted. So this might not be a very important case in case of friends, but consider you are using an Android in an enterprise, so anyone can sniff your data. And by the latest law is that by default the passwords you type are shown. So anyone anyone is standing back of you can see your password. So you need to disable that. The applications also have access to GPS. Like you even don't know you are using an application, and the attacker can see where you are actually right now. And the latest thing is that permissions when assigned to an application cannot be revoked until you reinstall it. So this is how the permissions look like. We have the ZEV, DEV tools which is developed by Android team. So before you download this application, the Google Market actually notifies you that what all it can access. It can access the network communication. You can see full internet access. Here it is written your location will also be traced. So it can trace fine GPS location, that is the exact GPS location. Development tools, that is the background processes of Android, it can access, and the system tools which are used to modify system entries can also be used by these applications. So we need to be careful while using these applications. Now what all features has Google implemented? Basic features to secure Android. The Android applications actually work in a sandbox. Now sandbox concept is that the applications while working and using the processes run in a different isolated area, so that the actual OS components are not affected. The Android application framework also has the implementation of cryptography, permissions, and secure inter-process communication. It also has an encrypted file system which can be used by third-party supported tools to encrypt the entire phone in case it is lost. Now these are the most common Android security applications available. You can see this Lookout is a free application, you can download it and it has good reviews from users, so no doubt you can use it. Now some premium applications are McAfee and WaveSecure. They have combined and made a nice application. AVG has its own application called AVG Mobilization. This is also a free application which is called WebRoot Security. And Symantec, though it is a new player, but this application is very polished, so you can undoubtedly use it. Now what these applications actually, what mechanisms these have to secure you. These applications, they have backup data for your protection. So you can back up your SMS to their remote servers. In case you have lost your device and you have any important SMS or contacts, you can restore them. That is, restore your data when needed. You can lock and secure an Android phone. Supposing you have lost your Android phone, you can remotely lock it so that no one can gain access to your private data inside your phone. You can also track and locate your mobile phone. That is, it supports real-time tracking. When the Android device is lost and when the attacker actually changes the SIM card, without his knowledge, the tracker gets activated and it gives real-time stats as to where the device is currently now. It also supports remote wiping of data. That is, consider your mobile device is lost, so you can tell those tell those application providers, so from their server they can wipe out the entire phone so that your data is not used maliciously. Now we will see some best practices that needs to be followed by all the users so that you don't get attacked by malicious users. You need to know your applications well. That is, download applications only if your friend has suggested you or you have seen its review, only after reading its reviews that it is secure and it does not have access to much of your data. You need to protect your Android with a password. Though it is a very basic technique, but it ensures minimum security. It ensures a baseline of security, so that in case your phone is lost, at least the user won't be able to gain access for some time. You can customize a locked home screen with owner info. Now, this option is available only in iPhone and BlackBerry, but using some third-party applications, you can customize the locked home screen. That is, when the screen gets locked, your entire info is shown on the screen. That this phone belongs to so and so person. This is his contact number. So in case a phone is lost and a good guy gets the phone and he doesn't know the password and he still wants to return the phone to you, so that he can see the lock screen and return to you. Do not root your Android device. Now this is the major problem why Android has so many vulnerabilities. People root their devices so that they support third-party applications, because Google has actually locked Android for applications to be downloaded only from the Android market. But if you root your device, you gain root access to the system, as Android is based on Linux. You gain root access to the system and you can modify any entity. So rooting the Android device is not recommended, as if you root the device, even an application can gain root access to your system and can do anything it is designed for. Stick to the official Android market for apps. Do not go for third-party applications now, because Google has a screening mechanism for their applications. So when you download it from the Android market, you will be assured that you won't be hacked or attacked. Use a good antivirus. As we talked, there are many applications available. You can use a paid one or even a free version. There are trial versions also available, which you can use for 7 days. Just scan your phone and then uninstall it. It will also ensure minimum security. And Android wireless connectivity and security is that you need to turn off your wireless and Bluetooth when not in use, because these days wirelesses are very prominent and anyone can access your data through wireless. Now this is a new technique which is called pattern locking. If you are not ensured that you have a very strong password, you can use a pattern lock. So we will see how it works. Now this is a pattern. You created a pattern which only you know, like how many what you will do to unlock this. Like suppose I create a pattern like this. So now to unlock this I have to do this. Then I create this pattern. The phone gets unlocked. And when I don't know this, no one can unlock this. And you can harden your device. For hardening your device, you need to follow basic steps. We talked about wireless networks. So you can see by default wireless networks are on, that is location determined by Wi-Fi or mobile networks. So you need to switch it off. So by default it is on, so you need to disable this. Now this setting is also on by default. We can see use GPS satellites, which can help the attacker trace your location. So you need to switch off this also. And you can see these passwords, it is written visible password. That is, when you type the password on the screen, it is first shown and then the asterisk marks appear. So you need to disable this also. So these were few things you need to follow for the Android security. And as a conclusion, we can say the bad guys have seen the growth of the smartphone market and are turning their skills. They are developing new tools to attack Android and other smartphones. So this is what for the topics.